All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and it's your boy Dave coming back at you live, and it is a happy Fast Money Friday. So I hope you guys had a fantastic night of sleep, and here we are for another brand new trading day. Let's get started here with our market news, and then we'll jump into our watch list. So we got the market news saying here that this stocks rallied the other day, right? So did I not post this here? Yeah, we got stocks sold off on Thursday over fears of a potential recession hitting the economy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged nearly 500 points, moving 1.21% lower to close out the session at 40,347.97 points. During the session, the index lost 744.22 points, or around 1.8% of session lows. The S&P 500 Nasdaq Composite also saw losses. The broad market index tumbled 1.37% to close the session at 5,446.68, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq shed 2.3% to finish at 17,194.15. Ever the small cap Russell 2000 index, which has been surging recently, fell 3%. The sell-off came after initial jobless claims rose that most since August last year. The ISM manufacturing index came in worse than expected at 46.8%, a sign that economic activity is contracting. All right. So that's what we got here this morning. Getting into our watch list, we got VSEE. This is a top second gainer currently trading at $6.49. Technically, I'm going to use VSCC. I'm going to personally look at VSCC as number one gainer, all right, because Buru doesn't really belong up here, okay? This is like 78,000 in volume. Must have been some sort of a buyout or merger. I don't know. It doesn't matter. This is literally not something that we're going to be focusing on. So just pretend like Buru's not even up there. All right. VSCC number one gainer for me right now. It has been making lower highs, but we got a great breakout play here at 640, and we hit all the way up to 745. So nice play there, nice trade. VSCE has been my actually just a hair below XCUR, which we'll talk about here next. But VSCC was one of my favorite trades. Now we gotta need to get this VWAP roll here and obviously break out of the downtrend line. Expect a lot of press release, expect a lot of companies today with no news. So if you're looking around for, man, where's the news, Dave? Like, well, Friday is Friday. You know, companies know not many as active traders are up and running on Fridays, you know. So that's why I said get up early in pre-market and let's just try to catch one or two good ones. And then, you know, at market opening, you know, if we get something, great. If not, then, you know, boohoo. I mean, it's the weekend. So that's just how it goes. So if you look at the top gainers list, literally from top to bottom, zero PR headlines, okay, on all of these names, except for the very bottom two. OSTX has a PR and a dash. Probably that's DoorDash. Has an AR, which is an analyst rating. So funny how the PR one is all the way to the bottom, but everything else is, you know, just a regular Friday. So anyways, VSCE right now, 640. You can use that as current support, previous resistance, right? Is now our very nice support. So if you guys bought the dip, looks like, you know, every time it comes down to that line, what's been going on, folks? What's been going on is people have been buying the dips. So buying the dip and then, you know, just keeps on popping up. So we'll be keeping our eyes on for that. And then what else? I mean, besides all, I mean, all of that, with that being said, let's move forward to the next stock here. I got XUR, which is my top, this is a top second gainer, and this has been a good trade. Actually ended up being a better trade than I thought this morning, because it's a micro penny stock, which isn't like my favorite thing in the world, but you know, I like it when it's kind of nearby where it has potential for that run up towards $1. So as you can see here in a daily chart, back in June, you know, it showed strength, right? It's been known to do these spikes. You know, it went from like, you know, look at that 30 to 80, obviously, and then you know you got this also spiking back in the 25th of July, doing this, and now we're back here in the 80-cent zone. Stocks up 61%, 17 million volume traded. So hopefully you were able to, you know, kind of pay attention on the overall volume and compare from the average volume that is, right? So now I got this line here at 83. right? So candle break at 83, and then you got another line all the way up to 87 cents. And then I'd love to see if we can touch $1 today. So right now, sort of holding that 1025 EMA. We'll love to see it breaking out of the lower highs and get that brand new high of the day at market opening. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Most of these are low floats this morning, under 10 million. So that's good to see. No news, obviously. All right. Moving forward, we got the MKDW. This one I did not trade at all today, but it is up on the gainers list on the Discord. For some reason, it's not showing on trade ideas, probably because if it doesn't show, then it's either a IPO, which looks like it is a brand new stock with no much history. So look at the daily chart. This is it. So we'll be watching for MKDW to be able to see if it can do a VWAP roll. Okay, so with this particular stock with no, really history, you're gonna just have to rely on the chart patterns and using the indicators here as best as you can. So obviously, it doesn't matter if it doesn't really have a history. I can just use the 1 minute chart and just go back off from the pre-market, and that's it. So fear not. The EMA here on this guy is 500 EMA. So if you ever want to look for the dips today, that's where you want to buy the dip at 500 EMA right now, sitting at $3.63. So that's going to be a good dip zone for the breakout traders. We want to see nice breakout here at 413. So I'm going to put a line here, get a nest building at 413, and then by that time VWAP should be around that mark, and we get a VWAP roll, and this puppy goes up to $5, and then you guys know the drill: $5 breaks, nice dollar runs. Okay, this is also a low float, and so it's got a lot of potential if we can get that going. So ideally, yeah, I think the dip at the 360, the lower zone will be better, but if you miss it, then that 413 line would be something that I would watch. All right. Got it good. Next stock on the watch list is the what do they call it? TBIO. This is a $5 range stock, which I do like. So you can use the grand $5 as a strong support line if ever gets a big dip, right? So for some reason I have a line at actually about 505. So about 5 to 505 is a good area to keep your eyes on. Currently, it's sort of in the between support and resistance, with VWAP being up there at 590. So yeah, no news on this one. Just seeing needs more volume, and then we'll see what happens. Last but not least, I have Akan, AKAN. This one is the only stock this morning that is not working out in my favor this morning. Okay, so we got this play earlier at 193, and it missed by 1 penny, and it did not fill me. So I am a little bit disappointed because I had a sell at 207, and for some reason it didn't fill me out because I think it only hit 206. So for some reason I didn't get sold out. Maybe if you did, congrats. I mean, 1 penny off from technically hitting the target. There was a 218, but that's 8 o'clock wick, so that wouldn't have done anything for you guys. But earlier, I mean, it somehow earlier before that we hit all the way up to 215 before we got started, but it just never got back up there. So anyways, market's open. Everything's pulling back down to 500 EMA, like on VSEE. ASNS has no volume right now. TBIO, no volume. AKN, we're waiting. Let's see the MKDW one. I guess the IPO ones. Besides that, I like XCUR still, just because it's holding up nicely. So I think XCUR would be the best one to keep your eyes on now, because that actually was my biggest trade of the morning so far. So still nice higher lows. We just got to break this 83, which we are right now. We got 3 seconds, and the next candle should close at above 83 here. So that's good. 96-cent up pulse. So we're going to get closer to that $1 mark. But 83 now needs to become support. So 0.83 needs to hold as new support. MKDW had ticker change yesterday. Okay, so that's what it is. I didn't get to really look into what it is because there's no PR that I'm not gonna look at it. But all right, right now 83 looking good. Hold the 83, and then you got currently a 96-cent up pulse still showing here. NQ, it's a bloody day right now in the market. As you know, if you read the market news, it was interesting how it said fears of a potential recession hitting the economy. I actually was like, what? Um, we heard that a few months ago, but now we're seeing it again on the headline. So, I mean, obviously, market not looking good. 400 over 400 points down to Nasdaq or the NQ today. Yeah, it is also down the Nasdaq. So not a great bullish market today, but who cares about that? I'm just here to make some trades on the small caps and also a few trades on the futures if it does get some nice entry levels. All right, so XUR, great, great, great. Next level, higher lows and higher highs. We got a new high today at the market opening, like we talked about, the market watch. And now we're coming to 90 cents mark. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the ride on up here as our number one play. 98-cent up pulp. Soak in and bathe in the greatness here. But 90 cents now, we generally want to see that being what? Our next new support line. Um, ASNS, we just need more volume. There's just no volume there. It needs red to green move. I know we wanted to see the ASNS do the 155 to 165, but only hit 163. So I didn't get filled there yet either. And there's just it's going red, green to red. So just be a smart one with that one, guys. Just FYI. All right, right now, at the moment, XUR is got the attention, okay? And then TBIO is starting to spark up. So okay, XUR and TBIO might not top two right now. I'll also mention that VSAZ testing 501. So for those that love the low entry levels, that is the lowest of the low. The only thing is make sure you keep it stock, tight risks on those levels. You need a candle break at $6 on TBIO, so don't rush. Right now, the hero play right now is still XUR until XUR pulls back. Then you're going to get TBIO getting that nice herd. XUR up 75%. They obviously 100% mark here. Very close. NQ, massive pullback, crack the trend line. And we're back down to the pink deviation line. So technically, indicator-wise, pink deviation line has been the support this morning. That ends up cracking the candle below. Then look at the room down. With the market being red, yes, we have potential to go all the way down there. Right now, we're forming a doji here on XUR. Now, pay attention, 102 up halt, 72-cent down halt. We got a 10 EMA still holding. The hero, the 25 testing now. So it needed a major pullback. Is a little bit extended off of 10. Obviously, also the higher high. If you drew the upper trend line there, you can just kind of clearly see that's all getting up there. So, that's not the areas that you want to buy into. You always want to be in early down at these lines. Okay, so back down to reality, doji and flat top red. Like that's why I said, when you see a doji, get ready and, start getting ready for that little rug pull there. So that was easy to read. VSEE, like I said, 500 EMA right now. Let's revisit VSEE real quick while XCR back down to where it kind of belonged. It's needed a cool off there. Nice cool off actually on the R side, back to 45 now. So that is still good though. Still higher lows. 10 EMA still above all indicators. 10 EMA kind of made a little curl down to get back down to reality, but it's okay. So besides that, man, market's not looking good. Overall market, that is. Now, obviously, the market has been. Remember Friday, I said, watch out with the 8:30 press release, the times of the not press release, but the economic politics and calendar watch. This morning at 8:30, we had the The U.S. employment report, unemployment rate, U.S. hourly wages. So obviously that wasn't really apparently that great. All right, so XUR back down to this line here. I like this area. This is a good level of support there, in my opinion, 75. Now, obviously, ideally, if you wanted some big discounts, it's going to be all the way down to this where we started, which was 67 to 70. So somewhere between 60 to 70 cent is the big discount. This is like, maybe a starter pack area here. The only thing is now the 10 EMA is just, curling down. So if you draw the higher low trend line here, it is at that mark where it's like, pretty decent level there you want to keep an eye on. Everything else has been kind of pulling back here. Nice bounce off the pink dev line. That was the support because obviously showed that pink dev line held in pre-market. So market opening support as well. Yeah, BJDX. Yeah, I can't forget about that one. I think, was there a play on this one? Yeah, I don't think so. I was looking at it, but I don't think so. Yeah, that was a nice pop. Sometimes you just can't catch them all, man. There are days where I do catch them all. Um, like, you know what I mean? Like I do catch main really good plays, but that's not how it should be. It shouldn't be about catching all of them, but it is nice. So, well, BGDX, if you guys are in or playing, 83 cent is the up halt. So that does look pretty good right now. It broke above all my lines that I already had, so I can't do much here at this time. Unless it pulls back down to this line at the 70, 69. So let me pull up BJDX for you guys. I think XUR, that's a great, set a stop below that trend line there. It should be good. The SEE, no bounce off the 500. That is brutal. Now remember, reference back to the death cross, right? It's going to be tough when you see stocks already getting a death cross, even if they're at the 500 EMA. Now, if they're already at the 500 EMA, but there is no death cross, there's a good dip buy. But usually at the death cross on a Friday and so 69, I'm going to put a line here on BJDX. I have a solid support line here. So if it ever comes back down there, that's ideally where I like to kind of look for a re-entry. Although my other line was at 60 cents. It's already kind of light up there now. But okay, NQ all the way up to the VWAP now. So it's making some recovery pop at the moment. Ooh, where's the other? So let's see if it's nice. Yeah, BGDX come back down below 69. So ideally 60 cent would be the entry. If not, actually even better would be 58. So actually let's try, Friday, we're not gonna, I think we need to be more on the pullback side. So I'll look for some pullback plays and see what we can get. So with BJDX, if we come down all the way up to down to 58, looks like that would be my my re-entry there because that's such a big discount level. So whenever you see the arrow pointing uh up like this at a line, that just simply means that we're looking for a dip. So some of you guys are like, don't read the comment on some of them, right? Obviously, most of them are going to be breakouts, but on this particular one, this is going to be a dip, 58. BSEE just crushed. TBIO about to come down, approaching the 500-1 as well. That would be a 467-ish area there. So XUR has a death cross, so that should also come down to the 500 EMA, unless actually, if you look at the hero EMA on this guy, yeah, it has came down all the way down to the 500 EMA as well. So XUR also approaching 501, worth watching there. All right. Jeez. All right, we'll be waiting. We'll revisit VJDX if it does fill me here, but right now, just kind of holding around the 60 cent mark. So come back here in a little bit. Man. Well, same thing with XUR. Ideally, re-entry back at the previous resistance and pre-market. NTST, XPOF, XPOF. Oh boy. BAKT. Have patience, folks. Have patience. If you did not participate in pre-market, yeah, you're gonna be tested with your patience here this morning session. You guys, someone asked me if I have any techniques, because some of you guys like freak out when you guys get in a trade and you're like your heart's racing. Uh, I've actually had someone ask me this a couple years ago. I didn't really have a technique for that, but at the time, I just said, "Well, just get over it, be a man, you know, get some thicker skin." But I would tell them now what works for me at least is taking a big deep breath, like inhaling slowly for like 4 seconds. I think it's like actually a method that military, like those guys that go out in combat, use. Breathing in like for 4 seconds and then breathing out slowly for 4 seconds, and or holding your breath for 4 seconds and breathing out slowly, and do that about like 3 or 4 times. That actually really helps. So like I would just take in a big deep breath slowly and hold your breath and then exhale slowly and do that like 3 or 4 times. And it really does work. It's like as if you're getting oxygen all the way to your brain. Because like sometimes I think you don't like when you panic or something, guys, when you get in a trade and you panic, like your heart races and so your brain doesn't get that oxygen. You're really just getting in very small amount of air to your lungs, right? Like so you need to take big deep breaths in, and then you'll be able to see clearly and think clearly. So just, I don't know, if it helps you try it out, I would try it out because it does definitely help me personally. Yeah. So I think it's like a meditation technique as well. So if you guys want to give it a try, do that. It's also good for people that starts getting frustrated and you want to punch something, or whatever, throw something. It's a common trait for some traders that get very frustrated when their trades don't work for their favor. I busted a mouse or two before in my trading career, but you gotta learn to not do that and just be able to stay calm and stay cool and collected. Um, and just, that's going to help you with your patience. All right. I'm gonna go down the list one more time here. We got about 15 minutes before the 10 o'clock mark. Buru, we already talked about it. Forget about this guy. Pretend like doesn't even exist. VSEE, you can see that this is like it's gone. It's gone, baby, gone. Okay. XUR, well, what are we looking for? We have two names today that are looking for the 500 EMA dip. So we want to see these names come all the way down to that 500 EMA and then go from there. And then we also have actually TBIO now tested the 470 500 EMA. I don't think BJDX is going to do the 500 EMA yet, but we are back at the VWAP. If that rejects one more time, then yeah, that should come down to the 500 EMA. So like I said, just take a deep breath and be patient now. Yes, your share size is too big if your heart is racing. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's very imagine you going in just like 100 share size versus 10,000 shares on a stock. You know, same thing if you're trading futures. Some of you guys, what do? You guys change to the minis, right? Instead of the micro, for example, NQ. If NQ one contract for you has been too much, well, worry not. You got the M and Q, the mini, right? So you can change that, and then or is it the micro? I'm getting confused now. You want to change that to that, and it's gonna be worth 10 times less. So you can grab 10 MNQ. 10 MNQ contract will equal one NQ contract. So you can go in half of that, like 5 MNQs, and yeah. Well, BGDX is trying to go back up there again, which the 69 cent is a candle break line if you're interested. So 69 candle break line. I just don't want to go for the breakouts right now because the market conditions are just terrible right now. But if you're good at quick scalps, that should be the line 69 and should hit the new high of the day if it doesn't do a double top at the previous high of the day at 73. BJDX, not BKDX. Death Wish, yes. Or too much Death Wish, yes. I mean, apparently they claim it's the world's strongest coffee in the world, but I mean, I guess it is. 83 up halt on Mr. BJDX. Needs to break 73. That's the high of the day. NQ now looks like after establishing, you got the 14 MA here, also to trend line. So great area to re-enter here at the moment. And now back to 50 MA. 50 MA needs to roll and go to the VWAP. And we're looking for Mr. XUR to come down to our glorious 67 line there. LRB, SBRI, GRB, UTMY, so FTBL, SCG, TMCI, NTST, NTST, TMCI, FTBL, UTMY, yeah, I was hoping BJDX would kind of dip down to the 500 EMA, but it actually probably was better to just do it at 200 at the 61 area there. I'm not really too sure if I want to. Yeah, we'll see. All coming down to 500. TBI still at 500. XUR slowly coming down. LG, TPMC. Well, 50 EMA rejection there on NQ. Okay, so BJDX still taking the lead at the moment. 69, but 73 needs to break. Not forcing any more trades, guys. I mean, I'm not forcing it. I'm just gonna sit tight, wait for this XUR to come down to the 500 EMA. Thank you. You have 45 seconds on that candle, and I mean, it just looks like either it's going to be a big wick and recovers all the way back down, back up towards that 14 EMA again within the next 30 seconds, or the next candle, if it doesn't, then it's going to continue to lower highs and eventually go back down to pink dev line again. And the pink dev line, most likely, I think it's going to crack, and then we're going to get down to new levels. So definitely not a bullish day where you want to, if your strategy is more on the bullish side, you just need to really be patient and wait for that really solid dip entry and the dip cracks or support cracks to have that tight stop and take a small loss today. Don't get tilted and then start adding more position and adding more position. This is the common mistake that I see a lot of you guys in the futures on these prop firm accounts. You guys blowing up like 30 times, 40 times. Um, and that's the thing. Yeah, don't get tilted. All right, here we go. 73 on BJDX. Remember, this is not in play, okay? This 57 never came down. Would have been nice if it came down at market opening there, but or we had a play at the market opening. All right, barely just made a new high of the day, 73. All right, so everything's been great except for ASNS. So I did take a loss on that one. Never filled my target level that I wanted and had to take a loss on that one. So I took a $880 loss on that one. But still up for the day. So still up what? Just a hair below 2 grand. I think I'm gonna retract some of these breakout plays by like 10:30 if I don't see it anywhere near that time or anywhere near that price. Definitely VSEE is gonna be getting retracted. Um, yeah. I didn't get the best night's sleep last night, guys, so I'm a little sleep deprived this morning and slow. That's not a good combination. Okay, so we got all the way up to $2 and I need to double check this play. Um, watch Alcon starting to perk back up. I actually still have few shares. I just have small shares on this thing, so I never got to sell it. I think I might just need to take a small loss on this. I'm not endorsing this right now. I'm just saying earlier at the 193, I never sold it, so I think I'm just gonna sell it off here. Just got filled at 180, so I'm just gonna take a loss on that one as well, just because I just don't see these stocks popping back up, guys. I mean, just a tough market right now. You don't really see every day where Nasdaq goes down 400 now, Dow Jones almost 500 for the day, and SPY's almost down $10. 10 points. So, like I said, just come here prepared for the pre-market, and that's it. I mean, it's looking a little bit bloody here. All right. Well, here's I have waiting for XUR still. That's all I can say. I mean, I miss BJDX, so I'm just I'm not gonna force it. But if I man, this is so tempting. I do want to play one more breakout or something. I do think BJDX has a little bit more. I 71. Watch for the 71 line. 71 candle break here. So earlier we had a 69. 69 gave us 75 new high of day. Now we need a 71 candle break. Okay, because everything above 71 has been wicks. So with that being said, yeah, I'm not gonna wait for this guy to come all the way down to 500 AMA. It's not gonna be worth it anymore. So I'm gonna retract this BJDX and actually a couple names now because today's just an interesting day where it's Friday and market's just bloody. So and I'm not. It's not good to sit there and wait and. Uh, darn. Darn, 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 darn. So 2 wins on VSEE and XUR trade today, and 2 losses on Akana ASNS. So I'm up about $1,000 now today. Just gave back 2 freaking grand for 1,800, but whatever. I need to stop forcing it now. So, all right. Well, we can go talk about something else. In the meantime, I can go over talking about some strategies. I'm trying to think about some questions that you guys had previously. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns or any topic that you want me to cover because it's just looking like a really slow day. If you want to take the 500 EMA on BJDX, I mean, feel free to do so. I mean, I think it looks like it is actually now starting to come down. Like the reason why I'm not really looking forward to the dip as much right now is because I mean, there's just the market conditions. I mean, not only that, this thing's been like what running higher lows, higher highs. So if it does come down here again, you could go for a small scalp. I'm not really expecting anything crazy here. Okay, back down to pink deviation line as we talked about, and this is probably going to be cracking the pink deviation line the longer it takes. I mean, we're already down 500 points. I think what the max highest I've ever seen was like a week ago or so, where it was down all the way to like 700 points, 700 or 800. It was crazy. I never seen it that low go low, but we're seeing it another 500 point down day, so it's very possible. It's actually coming down to 57 soon here on BJDX. Uh, I think I just want to keep my $1,000 for the day. I don't want to go below $1,000 for the day. These are the type of things that you have to make good decisions on. I know a lot of you guys like, oh, just go for it, just go for it. But that's not, you know, you got to be grateful in this market for what you can, take what you can. And then even if you don't take it, way better to have a 0 day or protecting your profits from the previous days rather than forcing your way on this bloody market and trying to catch a falling knife and averaging down and all this nonsense. And all you're doing is just seeing the PNL go deeper red. And that's just not how you want to end your Friday and go into the weekend, right? So what can you do? No one can control the markets. Market has its, conditions, and we just need to adapt. Yeah, so on average, it seems like this past week I've been trading about four tickers. So just four names, like 3 to 4 actually has been the pace. Keep in mind, BJDX did get a death cross, so I'm gonna leave actually XUR. That's the only one that I'm gonna leave up, the 67 one, because that is my breakout point entry. Unfortunately, with BJDX, I just didn't have any breakouts for me to experience, so I'm not as confident for the dip. But like I said, that 500 EMA should be your hero EMA regardless. As promised, I didn't promise you guys anything, and nor should you listen to any promises in the market. Pink deviation line cracks. Expect this to go all the way down to the deviation 2 line, and look at this big sell-off. It's a big crack. Holy macaroni. So for those that are playing average down game today, ooh, don't let this be another day where you blow up your count again and have to reset. Don't do that. Apparently, yesterday, we've seen a lot of people reset for some reason. Yesterday wasn't probably the easiest day either, but okay. So, like I said, retracting BJDX, DBIO, and Mr. VSEE or Miss VSEE. Sounds feminine. So if we look back today's plays, VSEE 642 was success. Alcon at 193 was the loss. XUR 67 was a win. ASNS at 155 was a loss. So 2 wins, 2 losses. That's all I got. And only thing that I'm going to be waiting for, one more thing, is XUR now. So now keep in mind, just FYI, BJDX, although I retracted the 0.58, I will personally not play it. But if you are interested, it is coming down to the 500 EMA. So now, why am I saying this? Because I want to see somebody else take the decision to see if they're gonna buy that 500 EMA and then see how it works out for them. But it's not gonna be me. All right, here we go. XUR. Come on, baby. So we are here, guys, on the XUR, finally back to our coming down to that home base here. This is the only one that I'm gonna look for 500 EMA. So XUR is the only 500 one at 67 that I will try. Now I'm gonna only try one here because why? Like if this doesn't work out, then I'm done. I'm not gonna force anymore. This has got to be a great bounce point here because look, just for reference purposes, 67 gave us all the way up to 90. What was it? 93. So sometimes you just have to narrow down to the best of the best and then go from there. Okay, coming all the way down to the pink so not pink, cyan, the deviation 2 line there on the NQ. Now it is down 600 points. Okay, so now XUR, I want to see this thing kind of settling down here, 67. This is the only play now in play. Come on, let's start reversing now. Okay, so this one, I do not want to see this thing going below 60, 61, 61. 63 needs to hold, but 61 is like the very bottom. So I only went in small position for now, just in case, because the market's so nasty. Come on. Where's the buyers? Come on now. Went in small due to the market conditions. 63 ideally final support. Well, we're in 0.61 final. 0.61. Yeah. So the reason why I'm looking at that is because I have sometimes I like to look at the 5-minute chart in case I miss something. And there's a 500, a 200 on the 5 at 63. Boy, oh boy, we're all the way down to now finally touching the deviation. We just tested the deviation 2 line there on NQ. Man, come on. Where is the juice? Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to see 67 here below. So this is looking tough right now. God. Testing the 63. And you definitely don't want to see this thing going 61, then it's going to be a new low. So I'm waiting for the buyers to like kind of really scoop in here again. That's why it's better to go in smaller and then you can make a decision. Either cut it for a small loss or with the small position that you went in and the other one, the buy you didn't get to use, and you can make a decision on whether or not. But I really didn't want to see that 67 crack. Now we got to re-break 67. So 63 support, 67 resistance. Yeah, I'm glad we dodged this BJDX one too. I mean, not the BJDX, that one's below 500 EMA. Actually, Akan, BJDX, ASNS are all below 500 EMA. I'm just hoping that XUR is gonna be not gonna go below a new low. Otherwise, I'm gonna be out. So keep in mind, I do this because I had my gains already made, so I'm playing with house money. So if I made the decision, I have no regrets. So just want to make sure you guys are understanding that. Okay. Don't go in going all in on a day like today. It's just because it's 500 EMA. Still, you gotta trade and go in with caution. So we're still watching here 63 and then see buyers come back in. That reversal will be nice though. So if we get back up there 67 and then start wedging out of that downtrend line, that would be nice. But we just need the market to kind of start recovering back up. This is so red here, so it's freaking people out with the headline there at the whatever they say recession again. You got about 11 minutes now till 10:30. I am just sitting on my XUR still at the moment. Oh, shit. We're obviously just quiet at the moment. Only play I'm just very patiently waiting is XUR. Um, it hits if it hits 61 and below, I'm gonna be out. So until then, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna be patient, and that's all that's to it. Okay. So obviously, I don't want to lose. Nobody likes losing, but you know, I went in knowing my consequences, and that's it. So, happy to chip in amount that I'm comfortable with losing back some, and as long as I finish green for the day or not go red, I'm fine with that. So with NQ, we came all the way down to the Mr. Deviation 2 line and got a nice bounce back up. Hmm. It's kind of close to that downtrend line here, so it will be nice. We're just not getting the volume. That's the thing. That's what I'm concerned about. It looks like it's gonna wedge up here and it gets rejected again. It's gonna make a lower low. So I'm hoping that it will wedge out, but just realistically speaking, it's probably gonna I mean, I don't want to let negativity seep in, but just put yourself a range order, guys. Like, set a stop. And if it hits the target, great. If it doesn't, then stop down for a loss and then see if there's any other setups. But I don't like to trade stocks that already have gone below all indicators. It'll be interesting to see what the rest of the 30 minutes will look like after this 10-minute start stretch break in about 5 minutes. Hey, everybody, good so far this morning? Any questions so far? Let me know. Oh God, it's like watching paint dry today. So basically, for my calculations, I was up 1,000 or I was up like over 2,000, and then now I'm down, I'm up 1,000, and then with this trade, I'm gonna still come out in the green. Worst case scenario, at the very least, I need to take home at least $300. So that was a game plan that I came in with. I'd rather take much $1,000 than over 300, but it's the mindset you need to have beforehand. So The reason why I'm sharing you guys with this is because back in the days when I went in trading without the plan, and you start trading the plan as you go, it rarely works. And you end up picking a red day. And when you go for a red day, most of the time you will want to get that money back. And most of the time, especially on a day like Friday, you will go further red. So always best thing to do is know how much you're willing to lose, accept it. So don't always think about the reward. Man, I can make this much if this price hits this. That's great and all, but you most importantly, you got to think about, okay, how much am I okay with losing? So if it hits below 61, I'll lose about another $800 and then or $700 and I'll come out skating above 300 bucks. That's the plan. But I'm gonna be patient as long as 61 doesn't go below, then I'm gonna wait for that pop up and hopefully hits the PT and I'll be happy. And that's all there's to it. So just FYI. Yep, slowest trade of the week. The good kind of look right now is it is looking like it's trying to edge out a little bit. Ideally, since I'm like really paying attention on what the 5 minute chart, I'd like to see that first green candlestick on the 5 minute chart on this XUR. Yeah, we got about 30 seconds till the 10:30 mark, and then I'm gonna get off the mic to do a 5-10 minute stretch break and then come back. Probably just gonna be a 10 minute off the mic and then come back for that 20 minutes till 11 a.m. Ripper time to see if we can get some setups for 11 a.m. reps. I would like to think that XUR can hold out to 61 and start wedging back above 67. That 11 a.m. Ripper would be ideally what I want to see because I mean, let's face it, the only reason why I went on XUR is the number one doesn't have to be number one gainer necessarily. It's the number one leader in volume. So yeah, it is a micro penny, but for a micro penny, 54 million on a Friday, I mean, it's decent. An XUR on average trades at 1 million in volume. So we've already had 54 times his average volume. So Uphold, if anyone's interested, is sitting at 80 cents. NQ starting to reverse on up, or it has been with this doji and flat this line right here at 18,447. All right. So in the meantime, I mean, we're gonna take a stretch break. I'm gonna take a little quick walk away from the computer. If I come back and see that XUR has hit a new low, that means that I have been stopped out, and then we'll see what happens, to go into 11 a.m. All right. So NQ, great reversal coming up to 14 EMA. Watch for that 14 EMA rejection, and then we'll come back in 10 minutes. All right. Be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I think we had enough time for a nice little stretch breaks, 10:40, 11 a.m. ripper dip time. I scale some into 67 here, and then I'm gonna let the rest ride. I just wanted to reduce a little bit of risk, just because it's so slow. So then I'm gonna let the rest just do its thing now. And then now, because what we want to see is 67 really become the new support. So 67 was the support level entry, now resistance. So I'm selling into some into resistance and then hold the rest to make sure the 67 has become support and then go for it. Otherwise, if it gets rejected at 67, we're gonna get back down again onto the 200. And I don't want to see the risk of having to sit here all day or whatever, all that nonsense. So that's just me explaining to you what I'm personally doing, what I think. If you don't agree with me, totally fine, respect that. You can hold all you want till it goes to whatever price target you want. But based on my time at 11 a.m., that's just my decision. So that's that for now. 67. Let's see if we can become support here. We got an 81-cent up halt. 20 minutes till 11 a.m. Rip or dip time. Really hoping that this is going to be the 11 a.m. ripper. So never hit my 61 stop. So we're back to 67 now. Um, all right. Looks like we have a question here. Guys, just FYI, I'm gonna move my stop up. I'm not gonna risk more than six. It's gonna move up now. I'm not gonna see this thing go fall down below 200 now on the five. So that's at 60, 63. So just FYI, I'm not gonna let this thing go all the way down 61. So moving stop now to moving stop up. 63 now needs to. So this is just me way up reducing risk, and that way I can try to make sure that I can close out, close to 1,000 as much as possible, or something. Just don't want to be taking that risk, but making sure that we hold that, and then 67 re-break, and then we should be good. If we break 67 and hit the PT, then I'll be up more than 1,000. I'm just gonna call it. There's just not enough time for me to, and there's nothing, no activity. There's no need to be sitting here all day and just forcing. So. So you see how, guys, just FYI, there's a lot of folks out there that probably saw a little dip here, and instead of figuring out and planned out the next area of support, like, you could imagine the guy that just sold here all the way down to 62, right before that support, that low of the day. You gotta look for those things, and um, you could have at least sold back out even versus selling at the low, and then now you can hold some just in case if it does break out, right? So that's what I'm talking about. You got to be patient. You got to make sure that those support levels hold, and before you even enter, be willing to risk this amount of money for how much it is. So I mean, I was able to risk all the way down there just because I went in small positions of Friday. These type of decisions is something that you guys need to come up with before making those decision entries. Because the moment you get in, you better have gone into war with a plan. Otherwise, hey man, like good luck. Now, good news on the XUR. We obviously formed two green candlesticks. Well, that actually one. That previous one is sort of a doji, and this one's another doji here. So it's trying to make a decision. It's better than red candle, so that's good. But on the 1 minute chart here as well, we got literally like almost like doji looking candlesticks right now. I'd love to see this thing pushing up towards the 50 EMA on the one. Actually, no, not the 50. This time higher than 50. So it's the 500 EMA on the one. That will show me that this thing's a little bit serious, and then take up towards that 200 on the one, which is going to be up towards 70 cents, 71. So if I can get the 70s again, then I'll be happy, and I'm going to call it a day. And then if you guys want to go for more, 70 cents becomes support, 73 VWAP, and so forth. All right. Most likely, I'm only going to stick around for the till 11 a.m. They're going to be very, very strict with my time. It's also because I know myself. I graded myself this morning from a scale of 1 to 10. How great am I feeling? I told you this before. I'm just being very transparent and honest with you guys. Like, I just did not get the best sleep. So what you got to be honest with yourself too. If you're feeling, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're only at a 6, then you just sitting there all day in front of your computer, you're you're asking for a beating, you know. Okay, back to the 14 EMA here on NQ looks like. And so, like I said earlier, hey, 14 EMA rejection is gonna come down. Look what happened. There were big fat rejections, straight back down. Made a higher low, so it didn't come all the way down to deviation 2 line again. So it's starting to do a little bit of curl back up. You can see that the oversold territory almost near that 30 happened, and we're starting to build a little bit higher lows, and hopefully it does a higher high here. If it doesn't do a higher high, you got another shot to come back down to towards like 18,445 to four, this two lines here. But now we got to break above this area here. That what is that line? 18,528 here. 18,529 actually, or so. Oof. Come on. It's gonna be. That's a very beautiful candle right here. You see that 5 minute doji, flat top red, right there on that was this is a very very beautiful doji right here. You want to look for a doji that has like the very top and the bottom like evenly, like as close as possible matching. Those are the really good ones, not something like this, you know. Where it's like a wick here. But always want to look for those previous candle and then look for how it opens. Very, very important for folks that are Heikin-Ashi traders like me. So we did make a higher high on AQ, so looking like we just hit up to the man. I can't even think of what this orange line is. What's going on here? That's called sleep deprivation, I guess. What is this? 21 SMA, right? So 21 SMA, folks. 25 EMA and 21 SMA. Perfect rejection right that orange line and back down 14 EMA. 14 EMA is now your support. So that should be another area for those that are looking for potentially um, another potential dip. Oh my gosh. Another big fat trap down. Okay, so as you guys already know, XUR, we're just literally smooching around the 67. And I think you guys know the drill. Just needs a nice 67 re-break. It'll support there. And they'll let the little birdies fly back on up. All right, guys, we got 5 more minutes and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a day here. All right. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day here, guys. Just kind of done with watching paint dry. So set your stops. I already told you my final stop now on the XUR. No more 61 support to now 63. So just trying to make sure everything's good. I shaved off, like I said, into 67 to make sure that I don't take the heavy loss or anything like that. So other than that, guys, yeah, bloody day in the market. Hopefully next Monday, Money Monday is going to be opening up bright. If not, then come prepared and we'll wait for those nice A plus setups. So thanks for tuning in, team, and have a great rest of your weekend. And see you guys back here on Money Monday. Take care, everybody. God bless you all.